And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in business with a community showdown between the dinosaurs, who shall be led by Golden Duck. And today, my friends, they face off against the Norscan hordes, who shall be led by Ulrich Rahl. Should certainly be quite a fun showdown, so let's go ahead and take a look at the armies here. For the dinos up here in Vanguard, they do have a bunch of chameleons, which I think are aces in this matchup. These guys are so good against Norsca. So firstly, they do have 40% missile resist, so if they are being counter-skirmished by Marauder horsemen with either axes or javelins, they're going to be taking very little damage. On top of that, they have poison in both melee and their ranged attacks. So for example, if the Marauder horsemen want to chase them and try and fight them, they're going to be getting peppered and poisoned, losing a ton of models. And even if they do get into combat, they're also going to be getting poisoned in melee and just dragged down. Chameleon skinks are so annoying for Norsca to deal with, and I can tell you from experience, sometimes like Norscan hounds, Chaos Warhounds, those type of things can really do quite well. But even still, skinks are quite tough to lock down. Plus, Norsca does often bring berserkers and lightly armored troops for their infantry. So having the little skinks to kind of poke and stroke them, I think, is a great choice. On top of that, it's going to be double salamander. No, triple. Wow. Okay. He's got the Umbral Tide, Salamander Hunting Pack, and another pack over here, a Manticore Summoner, and it looks like it is going to be KROQY Balboa, man, coming in with that mean right hook there. He does, of course, have the Hand of the Gods to try and blast some lords. And in the back line here for the dinos, it is going to be Saurus with shields, 2 in total with a cohort of Sotek, and 1 unit of Colden Riders here, and another here on the eastern flank of the battlefield. Quite cool indeed. Now for Ulrich Rahl, he's got Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axes, always a good inclusion if you're expecting big dinos. Even, chasing things like Salamanders, these guys can do a pretty good job. The AP does help. I mean, Salamanders are rocking 80 armor, but mainly they're really good against things like KROQY and Bastiladons, Stegodons, Ancient Stegodons, that type of stuff. So got 3 of those. He's got a bunch of Condom Wolves looking to wrap up the dinosaurs. Looks like in total he does have 3 of these guys. Wolfric on a Chariot, which is a pretty interesting choice. Oftentimes this is a monster fight matchup, so having a Chariot Lord here is definitely a little bit unusual. Not to say that he doesn't have enough anti-large with all of his Skin Wolves and Throwing Axes. Got a Shadowcaster as well, Berserkers and Marauders, and 2 more Marauder Hunters in the back, just really rounding out his anti-monster kit here with these armor-piercing Throwing Axes. Skin Wolves are charging in. Going to be charging into a torrent of Salamander fire, though, for sure. You can see the fire is going to be shooting from over the hill, and those Condom Wolves are going to be getting roasted, man. Can they endure the heat? Certainly not too happy about it. Immediately losing several models. Going down to half HP, man. Those Salamanders buttering some serious bread right there. And yeah, the Skin Wolves are really sent running. But again, they do have regeneration. Hand of the Gods coming down from KROQY Balboa is able to do some great damage here against Wolfric. Wolfric tried to juke that shot, but was a little bit behind on the juking. Now Norsca has an opportunity to kind of counterpunch here. They have a massive vanguard here of the Marauder Horsemen, who can put some huge pressure on Heavy Cav, on the Salamanders, and really, potentially get some big value here. Nice Throwing Axes, brutal stuff. Colden Riders really getting wrecked pretty good. And if the Colden Riders want to charge, they're going to be charging into a massive horde of Condom Wolves. So here they come. Skin Wolves obviously don't have the best AP, but in these type of numbers, they should be able to easily dominate these Colden Riders and really drag them down. You can see the Colden Riders are down to 23 models, getting massacred by those Skin Wolves. And in the meantime, it looks like a Sea Fang going down is a bit of a miss. I think it was going after the Skinks. And some light Cav charging going down from the Colden Riders and the main battle lines of Norsca. Now it looks like another Pendulum attempt. Pendulum goes down. That one was okay. Did some topical damage to the Skinks. Wasn't a complete miss there. But in the meantime, the Skin Wolves just kind of backing up the Throwing Axes. And it seems like the Lizardmen are really being forced onto their back foot here by the Norscan horsemen pressure. We've of course seen Ulrich Rahl play Norsca in the faction wars, and he's done very well for himself. A very, very solid player. Both players here, obviously, but yeah, we can see he's got some pretty good Norscan prowess as he continues to push in. I really like his strategy, like pushing forward with the Throwing Axes, supporting with the Skin Wolves. But the Salamanders do have better range, so in theory, they should be able to get back as long as they have some infantry screens. In the backfield, Colden Riders do break some Marauders, but then are broken themselves by the Marauder Hunters. And the frontline fighting is now underway, so we have Saurus fighting here. We do also have the cohort of Sotek refusing to die. KROQY, of course, helping against those guys. But really, this is kind of the very interesting engagement here on the battlefield. Manticore Summon going down from the Dinos is going to be going after the Balefiend of Shadows, which is a good call. Either him or Wolfric. Throwing Axes coming in and still doing big damage against the Sallies, who are down to 18 of 24 models, about to waver. And if they do waver and break, Ulrich Rahl should be able to chase them with some of his Marauders and really pressure those guys down. And now you can see he is sending in the Skin Wolves to try and make sure those guys get cleaned off. However, in the front lines, Lizards seem to be doing pretty well. The cohort of Sotek, backed up by KROQY, were able to win their fight. And now here comes KROQY going for the gooning attempt. Going after the Famir Balefiend of Shadow. You can see that Shadow Master is going to be getting hunted pretty good by KROQY. And he is large too. KROQY's anti-large really will kick in here. However, there's a lot of Throwing Axes, so KROQY could take a lot of damage here. He is afflicted by Hunter of Champions as well, so his speed is down to 39, but it looks like he still is able to juke those shots, which is certainly quite nice. Some of the Salamanders in the back do get caught by Skin Wolves, but not before they unleash a volley of fire on those Skin Wolves and actually break those guys. Very, very even battle here. The Sally's about to be broken, most likely. Granted, there are some Chameleon Skinks here who might be able to lend some fire support. We'll see. Here come the little darts. yeah, if the Skinks, 61 Skinks against, yeah, probably all these horsemen should be able to defeat the Skinks in combat. It's a little bit hard to say, but we'll have to keep an eye on that particular engagement. Now in the backfield, though, we do have two groups of salamanders for the dinos, and KROQY is coming back here. KROQY with all the Skinks poisoning those skin wolves. He should be able to peel those guys off, and I think that's really going to be the key to success here for the dinos as we do progress into the late game, is making sure to stabilize these salamanders. Without them, I think Norsca does have a lot of mobility in skin wolves, and Wulfric on his chariot, for example, can be pretty effective against these like skirmishing units, so KROQY's going to have to really do some work. And here he comes, getting in there, the atomic leap. And you can see these skin wolves shaken, definitely taking quite a bit of damage. 7 leadership, getting very, very low. I don't know if the dinos have anything to chase them off the battlefield per se, and that's a very common thing with Norsca. Like, you'll break their skin wolves, you'll think you're in good shape, and suddenly they're back, and they've healed up like 25% since last time you saw them. And it can be very scary for sure. So Norsca does have its Marauder Hunters here, some Marauders battling those dudes up in the high ground. Wulfric has been able to secure the backfield by running over the Sars on his glorious chariot here, making Surtha Ek proud. But so far, yeah, very even battle. Very well played to both players. This has been a very enjoyable one to watch. Salamanders are stabilized. 11 here, and it looks like 16 here, which is going to be a bit of a problem for Norsca. They still have a ton of chameleons too, so it's going to make the approach for Norsca very, very daunting. Like, as they start to charge into this Lizardmen army, they're going to be getting, yeah, really peppered with a lot of firepower. Hand of the Gods going down. Is it going to blast the caster? No. Brutal damage against Wulfric. It's so nasty, man. KROQY BALBOA. That guy does not mess around, and you can see here some of the salamanders are now being focused, but the throwing axe has somehow gotten to range here of the salamanders, who I think are going for a bit of an all-in here against Wulfric, really trying to take this bad boy out. But so far, you know, they're taking a lot of damage from those throwing axes, and the berserkers definitely should fall back at this point. At the backfield, skin wolves are back, just like I said. Those guys are going to be wrapping up here, trying to, yeah, fit those XLs here on the Umbral Tide, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much a hard counter. Skin wolves will absolutely destroy the Umbral Tide and any sort of salamanders in combat. Granted, Zallies do fire damage, which helps them, you know, at least punch back a little bit, but these are anti-large monsters with regeneration. They are pretty much designed to deal with these type of units. So the entire backfield here for the Lizards is in shambles, as Ulrich Rahl does come in for the Death Thrust here, and you can see the Umbral Tide, and all these guys are in pretty bad shape. A Manticore Summon is still active, fair amount of Saurus, and KROQY could still carry this for sure. If KROQY were able to kill Wulfric, for example, and maybe get some terror routes here on the Skin Wolves and still have a pocket of Saurus to kind of back up on. Of course, the Manticore Summon is active right now, so that's going to help him in the balance of power. But KROQY is afflicted by Hunter of Champions. Looks like Throwing Axe is still trying to pepper him down. Berserker's kind of nipping at his heels. Probably doing a little bit of damage. 3440 right here. And here comes more Throwing Axes and down to 32. I mean, that's 200 damage right there. That's no joke, man. But the Saurus are going strong. Chameleon skinks up in the high ground. It looks like we still have some. 59 of these guys kiting back these Marauder, just basic Marauders. Should be able to defeat those guys in combat. But yeah, very good play here by Ulrich. He's keeping Wulfric away from the Manticore Summon, which obviously is very important. Manticore Summons are just so damn strong. But KROQY is still going, man. Balance of power is still pretty darn even. I would say slightly Norscan favored based on the current state of the game, considering there's so many Skin Wolves. Like, if this Manticore was a permanent summon and staying, I'd say it was pretty even, but with that Manticore disappearing, I really think Ulrich should just avoid all combat until the Manticore is gone, and you can see here he's kind of running away and in doing that. I mean, he could turn and fight the Manticore, I guess, and try and break it real quick, but I think just running from it and trying to waste its time is a little bit better here. Because right now you can see, like, the Skin Wolves are taking damage from the Manticore. KROQY was able to come in because they stayed and fought. Had they just scattered, maybe he would have lost some models to the Manticore, but now he's going to be taking a pretty brutal amount of casualties. Flock of Doom going down as well from the Lizards. Good to be slapping the base on all these units. And the Skin Wolves should be pulling back at this point. And yeah, they're rolling away, man. They're running for the hills. Sara's still fighting, but not for long. They do have Cold Blood. There's only 6 Saurus fighting here. What champions, man. A little Skink Priest doing his thing as well, but, you know, Chariot Wulfric here. It's going to be a bit of a problem, to say the least. But look at that, man. All those Skin Wolves are broken. Granted, Skin Wolves still do heal while they're breaking. Some units lose their healing effects when they break because there are stipulations in the regeneration trait. But in this case, those guys do not. And look at this, man. The Chameleon Skinks, the heroes of the old ones, pushing in here and actually maybe breaking these Skin Wolves, which is pretty hilarious. But Wulfric's here on his chariot, and that should spell doom here for the little Skinks. Although KROQY's coming, man. Where's that Norscan army going? I was like, suddenly there was like so much Norsca, now they're just all gone. Yeah, KROQY definitely is the target here. He's afflicted right now by the Hunter of Champions. Skin Wolves are going to really benefit from his armor being lowered, and they're coming in with their big old werewolf pimp slaps. But this is a close battle, man. Look at it pulling back and forth here. All it's going to take is for the Skin Wolves to be mass terror routed, and then KROQY just to finish off Wulfric. Wulfric probably needs to get in here now, but all the Skin Wolves are broken! Oh my god! Wulfric charging in right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at his stats. 1363 HP. Wulfric is at 1400. He's like, screw this shit, I'm out of here. Oh my god, and the Lizards actually have a couple troops here in the low ground. Skink Priest, Chameleon Skinks, another group of Chameleons. And even though they don't hit hard, man, they're a buffer for Wulfric, and they also do poison damage. Oh god, Jurassic Park is coming, dude. KROQY BALBOA is coming for blood. 75 speed against 78. Wulfric should be able to keep pace unless he gets caught on his own troops here. He's like, you guys take it. I gotta peace out. So some Skin Wolves charging in, as well as Marauder Horsemen, but it looks like the Horsemen got the initial charge, which means many of the Skin Wolves might not be able to get that good surround they want. And the Skin Wolves, of course, being super beat up, they are normally immune to Psychology while their Frenzy's active, but if they're really damaged in the late game, they're not going to be immune to Psych, and this big old T-Rex is going to be doing its thing, man. And yeah, Wulfric has got to get the kill here, I guess. 597 against 589. Oh man, KROQY is going to teabag him, I think. Yeah, he's running, man. He's actually broken too, which means that if KROQY just stays on his tail, he's probably going to be able to chase him off the battlefield. So here you can see he's running, he's being pursued, he gets shattered, and that is a Lizardmen victory. What an amazing game between those two champs. Well played to Golden Duck and Ulrich Rahl. What a fun match. Salamander Skinks, KROQY BALBOA versus Chariot Wulfric with a really cool build with Berserkers and tons of throwing axes. I thought that was some really excellent and fun play and unique play by both players. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. As far as the builds go, I think they're great. I think both builds have some teeth. My only concern for Golden Duck's build, I think KROQY really carried him, but I feel like it's really hard to protect all that from like a proper Norscan rush. Like maybe if Ulrich had some hounds or something, that would have been really tough. But anyways, well played. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that showdown between Golden Duck and Ulrich. It was quite a bit of fun. And guys, we will be back with more content soon. You guys take care.